Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Keep It Pro training call brought to you by Networking Wisdom each and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific for the past 4.5 years. The purpose of this call is not only to learn skills for success in business and network marketing, but also in life. Thanks for joining. My name is Meredith, and I have the honor and privilege to introduce the creator and host, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Romacio is a well-sought-after leader, trainer, and coach, as well as a very successful international entrepreneur. At the age of just 25 years old, he made his first millions in mortgage and real estate, and shortly after that, he was introduced to network marketing. Because he's an ideal student and learned from the best, he quickly rose to the top. In fact, he has been one of the top 50 MLM income earners in the world. He has over 750,000 people in his organization, and he's done over $1 billion in sales. He knows how to make money, and he knows how to make money fast. He loves to have fun, but most of all, he loves to share the wisdom he has gained over the years. In fact, he's helped countless individuals make life-changing income all over the world. What I love most about Romacio is his ability to know exactly what his audience needs to hear each and every time he speaks. I highly suggest that you find a quiet place and grab a pen and paper because you're going to want to take notes and remember these nuggets of wisdom he's going to share with you today. Without further ado, here is your millionaire mentor, marketplace minister, the California kid, Mr. Romacio Fulcher.
Thank you so much, Meredith. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All righty. Thank you once again for stepping up and being our host, guys. I'm glad to be back here with you. We took a little pause last week, only to resume again this week. I want to welcome all of the first-time listeners, those of you that are listening live, and also those of you that are actually catching us on YouTube or listening to the replay. We're glad to have you. We've been doing this call for over 4.5 years, Networking Wisdom. This is the Sunday Keep It Pro training call. This call, guys, is open to any person that has an entrepreneurial bone in their body. We teach two specific things for the last 4.5 years. Can you believe that? Two specific things. Number one, we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the very top of whatever business you are promoting. I want to underline the word whatever. You know, whatever you're promoting, we teach you the specific skills that you're going to need. That's right. To be successful, you're going to need a set of skills. But the second thing that we teach you guys is we also teach you life skills as well. We believe everything in this life is a reflection of you. So in other words, as you grow, everything else around you will automatically grow as well. And so those are the two things that we teach week in and week out. We're glad to have you here. We don't keep inventory. We don't take log of who's on the phone. We don't do any of that. We live by a simple philosophy that I would encourage you to adopt, and that is we believe what we make happen for others, God will gladly make happen for us. If you really want to know how to get on the fast track towards abundant success in every area of your life, let me say that real slow for those of you that are taking notes. If you really want to know how to get on the fast track to have abundant success in your life, it comes down to giving. Once again, listen to our mission statement. We believe what we make happen for others, God will gladly make it happen for you. You say, Romacio, how do you know that this is factual? Well, it reads in John 3:17, for God so loved the world that he what? He gave his only begotten son. Okay, so what right then and there, we know and we learn it's all about giving. And that kind of sets me up or that kind of sets me up right into our topic today that we're going to be talking about. Today's topic that we're going to be diving into is problem solving. The theme of today's call is problem solving. Okay? And for all of you that are listening, okay, I want you to understand, as it relates to this thing called money, and that's right, baby, we need money to live. We all need money. You know, we all need money to live. Some of the old folks would say, if you don't got no money, you're not going to get no honey, right? You need money to live. But this thing called money, I want you to understand, We're talking about problem solving. I want you to understand that money comes from solving problems. Money comes from solving problems. You know, I'm sitting up here earlier today, and I'm sitting there, I'm just looking around my home. And I'm looking at my couch, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a comfortable couch that I'm sitting on. I'm looking at my car and the vehicle that I drive, and I'm going, wow, this is a wonderful vehicle that I drive. I'm looking at my television, and I'm looking at this is a nice television. I'm looking at my carpet, right? I'm looking at the concrete. I'm looking at the trees. I want you to look around you right now, wherever you are, and whatever you see, I want you to understand it's solving a problem. Once again, money comes from solving problems. Money comes from solving problems. I'm intentionally repeating myself because many of us will go down this woe is me path, or we'll be on this, my mama and my daddy was broke, so therefore I'm probably going to be broke. Or the environment I came from was a broke environment, so I don't really know how to be successful. I don't talk successful. I don't think like successful people. I don't know about all that stuff. Listen to me. Write this one sentence down. I keep things very simple for people. Money comes from solving problems. Just write it down. I'm sharing with you. I want you to look at everything that you can see right now, including the telephone that you're calling in on. It's solving a problem. That's why the people who made it are making a bunch of money. Now, I know many of us have self-esteem issues. That's right, I said it. Most people in the world have self-esteem issues. And we don't tend to believe that we can achieve something or we can do something. We hear about it. You know, we've been told by our parents, think positive, you can be all you can be, blah, 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 blah. We've heard all that stuff. But when we really look at your life and we look at your thought process, you truly don't believe it. You truly don't believe it. And the reason being is because we think it's got to be more complicated. It's got to be over there. It's harder to become successful. You know, I just don't know if I can be an entrepreneur. I don't know how to run a business. I don't even know how to deal with people. As some people say, I had no business being in business. Right? We have all of this noise that tries to take us away from the truth. The truth is each and every single person can be successful. Yes, you can. Yes, you can be successful, and you will be successful if you choose to adopt the right philosophies. Most people have bad philosophies when it comes to making money, and that's why they never make much. So I want you to write down a simple philosophy that money comes from solving problems. Now, what I've just done so far is I've kind of set you up for what I call the climax of the call. I've set you up for the main part of what this call is really about. Well, if we know that we all were created by God, and God is the one who created all things, everything, right? So I want you to listen to this. Do you think really God forgot about you? Do you think just because you might have been born in a bathroom on the floor, or you might have had this situation when you were growing up, or that situation, and they didn't want you, foster child, and all this stuff, do you really think that God made a mistake when he let you, I'm talking to you, when you were born? He didn't make no mistakes. He didn't make no mistakes. So if the TV has a purpose and it solves a problem, if the radio solves a problem, if the telephone, the carpet, the car, the knives and the forks, the kitchen counters, the cement floors, the paint on the wall, if all that stuff solves a problem, are you telling me that you don't really believe that you also solve a problem as well? See, I want you to write this next sentence down. If you don't discover the problem that you solve in this lifetime, you will live a life unrewarded for the problem you were meant to solve. Let me say it again for those of you writing it down. I said, if you don't discover the problem that you were created to solve, you will live a life unrewarded for the problem you and only you were intended to solve. What I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep this call relatively short today. I want you to really go in your bag and begin to think, what problem do I solve? Now, I realize because of self-esteem issues, many people will sit there and say, well, I don't really solve much of any problem. I didn't do so well in school, neither did I. Well, I didn't get good grades, and I'm not a good talker, and I'm not a good athlete, and I'm not too much of a businesswoman, and I don't really know too much. I'm just a little bitty thing. I don't really know if I can. I don't know. I really don't know. This is a tough call, Romacio. I really don't know. But I'm going to help you today. Trust me, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you today. What I want you to do is I want you to take 10 to 15 minutes. And I want you to, we've done this before, but we're going to do it again. Good things are meant to do twice, right? What I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to write down all the things that you love. And I know for some of you that's a very long list. Well, I love a lot of stuff. Okay? Number one, write down all the things that you love. Things you love to do, things you love to receive. Just write down what you love. I know it's kind of very, very, very big, but write that down. It's the reason why it's big. We're going to narrow it in just a second. We're going to narrow it in just a second. But write down all the things that you love. Number two, I want you to write down all the things that you hate. Things that you hate. I'll give you an example. I hate it if somebody disrespects me. I can't stand it. Man, I feel like Kunta Kinte himself. Don't disrespect me. You know what I mean? I matter around here. Don't you be talking to me no any kind of way, because I'm not going to talk to you no any kind of way. I'm real sensitive on disrespect. Period. End of story. I ain't going to ever change. I remember a little boy. Some of y'all not going to like this. I remember as a little boy, man, I tried to challenge my parents. Man, they must have knocked me into yesteryear so fast. They knocked me. Man, I never thought about that again. I'm real big on respect. I'm really big on that. So one thing I hate is I hate to be disrespected. Okay? So what are the things you hate? Okay? That's number two. Now, number three, here's the big one. What are the things that are very easy for you to do, but they're harder for others to do? What is something that's very easy for you? Like, I don't know. It's like drinking water. It's easy. You just got it. It's just you. For example, I've been doing this call for over 4.5 years, and not one time do I ever have any notes. I don't have any notes. There's no pieces of paper. I don't go sit in some corner and review my thoughts and then come get them. No, I don't do it that way. I know that's how Craig and Mike and Susie and Sally, that's how they do it. That's them. That's not Romacio. That's not the California kid. That's not what I do. You understand? I don't do that. Nothing against them. That's not how I do it. And the way I do it is more than enough. Trust me. It's because I'm within my purpose. I'm within my gifting. I'm within what it is. I'm not Michael Jordan. I'm not Kobe Bryant. I'm not those guys. I'm not Tony Robbins. I'm not Les Brown. I'm not so and so. I'm not Pastor T.D. Jakes. I'm not these guys. I'm Romacio Fulcher. Okay, so what I'm saying to you, just as valuable and important and as amazing as all those people that I mentioned as they are, so am I. Right? So part of you understanding that you do solve a problem is you got to get your head out of the sand. There's a whole bunch of things that I'm terrible at. Trust me, the list is too long to mention. But there are a few things that I'm exceptionally great at. And as long as I actually stay within those things, I promise you, abundant success is what I will continue to achieve. because I understand that money comes from solving problems. And so what I do to myself is I ask myself, Romacio, what problem am I meant to solve? And you say, well, how do you figure that out? I just told you. It's three things. Write down what you love. See, something that you love, sometimes that actually fuels you to go do something about it because you love to feel that way. You love to do those things. So that might be what's calling you to that might be part of your calling to do. But likewise, sometimes things that you hate, something that you hate will cause you to rise up and do something about it. I'm reminded of, just a recent documentary. I was watching Mary J. Blige. And for those of you that don't know Mary J. Blige, she's an R&B singer, hip-hop artist, whatnot. And I would think most people know about her. The girl is bad to the bone. But she was very insecure. She was very talented with her gift of singing, but she came from a very painful background. Girl went through a lot. She went through a tremendous amount, right? But because she hated where she came from so bad and how that affected her, she did something about it, is what I'm saying. The very thing she hated became the fuel for her purpose. And now she's touched millions and tens of millions and millions of men and women, and particularly women, all around the world because of her story. But it was all fueled by pain, something she hated. You see, what I'm saying to you, if Lil Wayne, who, if you know Lil Wayne, most of you probably do. He's got braids, he's got all these gold teeth, he's got all these tattoos, and you know who Lil Wayne is. Most of you do, I would think. Mega millionaire, following his purpose, being a rapper. That's something he's good at. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is this. The moment you pick your head up out the sand and stop worrying about what you're not and start focusing on what you are, the light bulb is going to go off in your head. Money comes from solving problems. Let me give you another illustration of my own personal life. I'm not a very creative type of guy. I'm not good at manufacturing stuff. I'm just not. I have friends of mine that are very creative. They love to create. They love to make stuff. That's not who and what I do. Romacio's not good at that. Okay? So as I was coming up, I had to make a decision, about my life when I learned that there are people there. The way I look at life, this is just for me, the way I kind of sum it down, there's three types of people. You have manufacturers, or people that create something. I call them manufacturers, right? That's number one. Number two, you have distributors, or people that connect. So number two would be distributors, or what we call connectors, right? And then number three, you would have consumers, people that consume stuff. And that's the way life works. You've got a manufacturer, you've got a distributor or connector, and you've got a consumer, which is a customer. And so I must have been in my early 20s when I had this epiphany, and I was still trying to find myself, who I am, what I'm meant to do, what my purpose is, what problem I solve, that type of thing, right? And once I got exposed to this thing called being a connector, being a distributor, being a connector, I really, really got excited about it. And let me explain to you why I got excited. Listen, I want you to hear this. Now, I want you to think about, I too used to have low self-esteem. You're listening to a guy that used to have low self-esteem. Okay? But when I found out that a manufacturer of any product or service is absolutely no good without a distributor or a connector to the customer, let me say that again. When I found out that a manufacturer, somebody that creates and builds something or manufactures something, is no good, they're no good without a distributor / connector, because remember, you need You need somebody to take what you've made, right? And you need somebody to move that to the customer, the end user, to buy it, right? That's called a distributor or a connector. When I discovered that a manufacturer is no good without a distributor or a connector, let me tell you what happened to my belief and my self-esteem. It went through the roof. And the reason why is because I was able to realize and recognize that I mattered. I was just as significant as the manufacturer. See, remember, I'm coming up the ladder, and I'm not thinking so much of myself. I'm not thinking, I'm not an athlete. I'm not a rapper. I don't know how to build stuff. I'm just little old Romacio, right? That's what I used to think. And so I'm not thinking too big of myself back then. And so as I was diving into the profession I was involved in, I was able to see how I really fit in, how I really mattered. Watch this. Then I said to myself, okay, so I'm not a manufacturer. I'm not a creator. I'm just a connector. I just connect people. You say you need a doctor? Call her. You need a dentist? Call her. You need this? Call him. You need that? I'm good. I'm really good. You can call me. I can connect you to anything. Anything positive, I can connect you to it. Anything. I am one connected son of a gun. I'm telling you, I'm connected all around the world. I'm talking about different languages, different countries. I got it. That's me. I got it. I know I got it. So my point is, but I started to say, okay, I'm a connector. That's cool. But, how much money can you really make from being a connector? Can you really become rich and free and abundant? Can you really, 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 really achieve the life that I dream about, that I see on TV, that I really want to have? Let me tell you something. I have friends of mine that are multi-billionaires from being connectors. Are you listening to me? What is the point of my story? I'm not saying you're supposed to be a connector. I'm not trying to encourage you or influence you to become a connector. What I'm trying to say to you is I'm trying to get you to understand that you solve a problem. What is it? Discover what the problem that you solve now and begin to perfect your skills at that. I love the story of Kevin Hart, the comedian. I mean, the guy, some people think he's funny. I think he's kind of funny, But here's the man is rolling right now. He's selling out arenas. Never before in the history of comedy have people sold out arenas. Hello? All because he's living within his purpose. It doesn't matter if you like Kevin Hart or not. He knows his purpose. He knows what problem he solves. I'm trying to tell you, it says in Revelations, the gift that God has given you, and only you, he has made room in this world for your gift. Listen, these are simple gems that I'm giving you right now. I'm going to say it again. Please write it down. Teach your children. The gift that God has given you, he has made room in this world for your gift. So what you have to do is take this free call serious. I know we got people that's been divorced. I know we got people that's waiting to get married. I know we got people that's waiting on a baby. We got people that's waiting on a lost husband or a lost wife to come to rekindle again. I know we got people that's on their 50,000 bankruptcy. I know we got people that got horrible credit scores tore up from the flow up. I know we got people that's middle-class Americans. We got rich people listening to these calls. We got multi-ethnicity listening to these calls, men and women, gays. We got all sorts of religions, people that atheists. We got them all on this call. I know if they're here. I know you're here. But guess what? What I'm telling you applies to all of you. What problem do you solve? What problem do you solve? If the TV solves a problem, and remember, God created you after his own heart. That's what it says in the Word. He created you after his own image. That's how he molded you and I. He didn't make no mistake. You need to start asking yourself some questions. And I've already given you 3 answers. Number 1, what do you love? Number 2, what do you hate? Now, don't you try and reduce me to a 2-minute segment here You need to get a pen and paper now. You need to write this stuff down now. You need to understand how important purpose is, how important solving problems is. You need to understand that you can't sin enough. You can't screw it up enough for God to hate you, for him to X you off the list of success and abundance. You can't blow it enough. What are you talking about? You can't go through enough divorces. You can't, have all this bad stuff happen to you enough to where God is just going to say, forget him, forget her. No, no, no. And guess what? Let me stand firm and tall and tell you, you don't have to be perfect to be crazy, crazy freaking rich. Did you hear me? I'm going to say it again. You don't have to be perfect to be crazy out of this world rich. But what you do have to do, you have to understand the philosophy that we're teaching today, that money comes from solving problems. You have to discover what problem do you solve. I'm giving you several examples. I've talked about myself. I've talked about Kevin Hart. And I can give you other examples of many other people. I gave you Lil Wayne. That was 3. I've given you several examples here. Mary J. Blige, that was 4. Showing you how all of these people solve problems. Let me tell you another one I think about. I think about Duck Dynasty. Duck Dynasty. Some of you know what Duck Dynasty is. They go out and chase the ducks and all this stuff. These guys is crazy freaking rich. Chasing ducks. Ducks. Because they good at chasing ducks. And I know I'm exaggerating it, but I'm exaggerating the point purposely only to make the point all the more. What problem do you solve? Some of you are up in age. You're in your 60s and your 70s, and you're thinking life is over, and it's just you're in the final stage of life. Hold on, I beg to differ. What do you love? What do you hate? What comes easy to you, but it's harder for others? You see, when you start answering these questions, you're going to start to really narrow in on what problem you solve. Now, let me tell you the next thing that's going to happen to you. The moment you start to understand what problem that you solve, you're then going to start saying, well, how do I do it? And how do I do it? And how do I figure it out? And I don't have any money, and I don't have to. Don't worry about all that. I love the story of Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey, he was a comedian. He still is a comedian. Man was broke until his early 40s, and then it all changed. Sleeping in his car, but knew that he was a comedian. Everybody has a story, including you. But I want to say something that I said twice already on this call. If you don't discover the problem that you were meant to solve, you will live a life unrewarded for the problem you were meant to solve. Every single one of us were created for a purpose, and we were created with a purpose in mind. When you don't know your purpose, you're like a ship without a rudder. You won't go anywhere. You'll try a bunch of things only to accomplish nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably one of the most important phone calls you're ever going to be on in your entire life. I'm talking to you about purpose. I'm talking to you about solving problems. And if you want this year to be different than last year and all the more and all the other years, you've got to know what your purpose is. You've got to know what problems you solve. I'm sitting here on the golf course, and I'm looking at a bunch of guys right now playing golf, and they're holding golf clubs, and somebody created the golf club. Somebody made the golf club. But watch this. There was also a distributor who actually sold the golf clubs as well. There was also a distributor that connected the golf club to the actual customers who bought them. And see, I know my purpose, and guess what? If I wanted to go and sell golf clubs, I could, and I could make a ton of money doing it because I know how to build large, gigantic, global sales teams, and we can move anything that's moral, legal, and ethical. So if you were to ask me what the purpose is of my life, I know the purpose of my life. The purpose of my life is to serve humanity with the spirit of love, compassion, and deliverance. So I know what my purpose is, and I know that I'm a connector. I'm a connector. So me building a large, gigantic sales team allows me to connect whoever manufactures the thing that I'm selling to the customers who want to buy it. And I get paid for making that transaction take place. And boy, let me tell you, it pays extremely well. Extremely well. So what I'm saying to you, all of this happened because I've learned what problem I solve. You know, I'm not Kevin Hart. I'm not LeBron James. I'm not Eddie Murphy. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not Tony Robbins. I'm not Pastor such and such. I'm Romacio Aaron Fulcher, the one and only California kid. I love California. I know it's expensive. I know we got issues out here, but I love coastal property, baby. I love Cali. I'm a Cali kid. That's where I'm at. Oh, where's Romacio? I know you can find them right there in California. You better believe it. That's right. So I know what I'm trying to tell you is I know who I am. Do you know who you are? Do you know what problem you solve? If you don't, you better figure it out right now. Take this free call, listen to this over and over and over and over again, and let it stir your faith. Let it stir your ingenuity. Let it stir your mind. Let it stir your spirit. Because I don't want to see you live a life unrewarded for the problem only you and you alone were meant to solve. But wait a minute, Romacio, I've always been a housewife my whole life, and my husband left me, or my wife left me, and I don't, this is a whole new season. Hello. Have you ever read a book? Have you ever read a book before? Have you ever noticed when you read a book, there's different chapters? Chapter 1 is radically different than chapter 6, and chapter 6 is radically different than chapter 10. This is just a new season for you. It's a new chapter. But thank God you're here listening to this call, that somebody can keep it stupidly simple for you and boil it all down to one sentence. What problem do you solve? But Romacio, I just love people, and I love loving on people, and I love encouraging people. Guess what? I know people that make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars encouraging folks. Hello. But Romacio, all I know how to do is I'm just really good at being a janitor. Being a janitor. Man, listen, I can put you on the phone right now. Several people I know that run janitorial businesses, $10 million a year. Hello. But Romacio, I used to be an ex-prostitute, and that's all I know how to do. Hello, I can put you on the phone right now with a lady that is killing the game right now. She's no longer a prostitute, but guess what? She's making tons and millions and millions and millions of dollars. But Romacio, I used to be a drug dealer, and I'm trying to get out of that, but that's all I know how to do. Hello. Listen, let me tell you something. Some of the wealthy, I know some very wealthy people, very rich people that used to be drug dealers. There's no excuse. Everybody has a past. Nobody's perfect. Even the person who you thought was perfect, trust me, they're not perfect. And all I'm trying to tell you is this. It would be a horrible thing for you to live this life and you never discover what problem you were meant to solve. Money comes from solving problems. The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. Start right now answering those 3 questions. What do you love? What do you hate? And what comes very easy to you, but it's harder for others? I promise you, if you do that exercise, you will immediately discover, right in that area, you'll discover what you're meant to do. You'll discover the thin thread, as Oprah talks about, that connects your life together. Did you hear me? The thin thread that travels throughout your life and connects you from thing to thing. Even though this thing might be different than that thing, but you'll notice there was some consistency. You were doing that over there, and you're kind of doing it over here. And then you went over there, and you're still kind of doing it. Maybe a different way, but same thing. You see what I'm saying? Discover your purpose. Discover what problem you're meant to solve. And then I want you to understand that God has a plan for your life. He wants you to have wealth and riches. He wants you to have abundant success. He wants you to prosper in both your health and wealth, according to the renewing of your mind. So that's why take this call serious, young man. Take this call serious, old man. Take this call serious. Ma'am, sir, take this call serious. Don't play around. There's a reason why you bumped into this call today. Even though we're giving it to you free, understand the greatest gifts in this lifetime were given to you absolutely free. The biggest mistake you can make is undermine or undervalue the value of this call, all because it didn't cost you anything. When you were born, your legs, your lungs, your eyes, your head, your brain, you didn't pay nothing for that. And correct me if I'm wrong. Without it, you're nothing. So the greatest gifts of your life have been given to you absolutely free. Don't make the mistake of undervaluing the principles and the philosophies taught to you on this call, all because it was free. You better take this serious. Because I'm telling you, when you discover who you are and what you're meant to do, as they say, you can go set the world on fire, and they will come from all around the world to watch you burn. When you get your purpose and your passion and you put it on fire, they're going to come from all around the world to watch you burn. I love how 50 Cent, I love how he said the difference between people is passion. The difference between people is passion. In other words, we're still talking about solving problems. Okay, so in other words, once you discover the problem that you are meant to solve, you've got to put your passion into it so you can get busy solving some problems. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen, that's all for today. I really hope you take this message. I want you to share this. We broke this thing down so simple, a 2-year-old baby can understand what we talked about today. We talked about solving problems. We talked about purpose. We talked about you matter. Yes, you. The moment you discover what it is that you're supposed to do, the moment you discover the problem you're meant to solve, everything changes. Hey, I love you guys. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't ever forget, in all that you do, there's nobody in the entire world any greater than you. Yes, you do matter. This is the California Kid, guys. I love you. I'll see you guys all next week. Goodbye, everybody.